All right, here we are. Thoughts from the office. Redneck's Pride Outdoors. What I'm doing with these videos is I'm doing old school training, old school instruction. You know, back in the 60s and the 70s, early 80s, you didn't get much information from the trappers. The guys who were good was close-lipped. And when you asked, a derogatory statement would usually come back, or no statement at all. But when you would get somebody willing to help you, until you got really close with them, what would typically happen is this: they wouldn't take you out and show you anything. What they would do is tell you, talk to you, just like I'm doing here. Sit down and tell you what they do. You see, it was up to me, or anybody back in that day, it was up to us to figure out what they're talking about and apply it in such a way that we understood it and learned it. So there's actual benefit in this old low quality video that this redneck is giving out to you. It's old school, makes you think. And today I just want to talk real quickly about dog proofs, because I'm talking to a lot of new trappers that in their mind, that dog proof trap, they just take it, put some bait into it, stick it in the ground, and voila, they got a raccoon the next morning. And the truth of the matter is, it's easy, but it's not that easy. All right, and that's, so if you're an old trapper, just turn it off. You don't need to hear me talk. This is for the new trappers. You're gonna be bored with what I'm talking about, just turn it off. If you already know what I'm going to talk about, just turn it off. Go somewhere else, okay? This is for the new trappers. But the first thing that is an absolute, and you've heard us say it, but I'm talking to so many new trappers right now that they know the answer, but they don't know the answer. When I say to them, what's the most important thing about setting a dog proof? And they always say to me, location. And it is. Then I say to them, well, then, why aren't you catching raccoons? Your bait's not getting stolen, right? No. Your trap's not getting messed with, right? No. Then if you know the answer is location, then why are you not catching raccoons? And the simple answer is this: they don't know location. Now, I'm not being mean. I'm not being a jerk. I'm being truthful here. You've got to know location. Means what? Where that raccoon is going to be. Not only where that raccoon is going to be one or two times, but you need to be on the spot that raccoon is going to be at every time he comes through the area. And there's going to be multiple raccoons on that spot every time they come through the area. I talk to so many folks, and they're willing to set a DP trap where there's one raccoon. And again, I'm contrary to what the old goats are going to tell you. I'm telling you, from 45 years as a wildlife control specialist, earning my living catching raccoons, raccoons have circuits. Now, it depends on what part of the country you're in and your food source and all that time frame. I don't have time to go into that circuit thing, but in my area, the circuit's going to be 5 to 10 days. So if you got one raccoon and you set a DP trap for that one raccoon, you're going to have to wait 5 to 10 days for that raccoon to come back. I know I'm pausing. So what am I telling you about location? There's a lot of places some raccoons will go sometimes. But there's only a few places that all the raccoons go all the time. That's what you want to find. Or that's what you want to create. And that's an important statement I just made. You either have to find that spot or you have to create that spot. You know, the biggest problem I hear about Pine Barrens raccoons is that's big ground, plenty of places for them to go, not many raccoons. And that is the absolute truth. That is complete, total truth. Any big woods. So when you're in a big woods setting, what do you have to do? You have to create a situation to make them all come to that one spot when they come through. So if you got 10 or 15 raccoons in an area, 20 raccoons in an area, you've got to create something to make them want to be there. That answer is as simple as a day is long, man. Most of you are saying, well, what are you talking about? What's every stinking deer hunter do and complain about? What do? They bait for their deer. And what do they complain about? All the raccoons on their bait. Enough said about that. Oh, well, I'm not going to spend money on a $3 raccoon. All right. Cool. How about go catch a bunch of fish and rot them down and then bury the rotted down fish in a hole? You didn't spend any money and you had fun catching them. Location, number one. If you're not on where the raccoons want to be, then you're not going to catch them. Number two, trap placement, trap position. When I say trap placement, trap position, again, the new trapper doesn't understand what I'm saying. They just say, stick it in the ground. Stick it in the ground. Stick it in the ground. You're right. Stick it in the ground. You're going to catch 80% of them. But for the 20%, Jonesy, why do you keep talking about the 20%? It's simple. The 20% are usually going to be the bigger, better raccoons, to where you might get $6 for. Plus their skull, plus possibly the meat, plus the glands. Trap position on a dog-proof trap. 80% stick it straight up in the air. 20% position the raccoon so they've got to pull the trigger. That's simple. I don't leave nothing to chance, people. I don't. All I do, you know, I love that. All you got to do is, yep, that's all you got to do. For some odd reason, we as human beings like to simplify things. I have no stinking idea why. Okay, nothing is easier than driving like I'm doing right now. Hands free. Okay, I've been driving and I'm doing a talk here. Hands free, driving. I'm thinking about the video. I'm not thinking about the driving. Driving is as simple as it can be. When you're paying attention, you're looking. Subconsciously, I'm watching all the cars go past me. Subconsciously, I'm watching all the cars come to me. Subconsciously, I'm turning when I'm supposed to. I'm putting my foot on the brake. I'm putting my foot on the gas without even thinking about it. Yes, this stuff can be complicated to learn, but once you learn it, you don't think about it no more. It just comes. It just comes. Third point I want to bring out. Probably most important. You want to catch raccoons in your DPs? Do not set a DP unless you know you're going to catch a raccoon in it. What I learned, the most valuable lesson I learned, is when I went out with 5 to 10 dog-proof traps. And in my mind, I said, I want a raccoon in every one of those dog-proof traps within 3 to 5 days. I want every dog-proof trap to catch within 3 to 5 days. What that gave me, if I accomplished that, you don't always accomplish it, granted, but when you go in with that mindset, and I don't pull, by the way, I wouldn't pull that dog-proof trap until it caught a raccoon. Sometimes it went 10 days, but my point was this. You don't set a dog-proof trap that may catch a raccoon. You set a dog-proof trap that is going to catch a raccoon. And when you go in with that mindset, I'm going to catch a raccoon with that, what you find is you stop setting the places that I don't know if I'm going to catch a raccoon or not. Dog-proof trapping is as simple as can be for the 80%. Absolutely no bars attached. Raccoon trapping with a dog-proof is almost idiot-proof for the 80%. That's it. You want the 20%? You got to give some thoughts to it. Hey, listen, I'm going to leave it here. I'm pulling up on a raccoon job, and just wanted to give you some thoughts. Redneck's Pride Outdoors, thoughts from the office. I'll see you next time.